Hey everybody, it's Greenwood again with another tutorial video. This video I'm going to talk about the modeling parallel and perpendicular lines workspace in MATHia to kind of give you some background on how this one should work. So this is the step-by-step problem, and I recommend you do this one first. So a couple things I want to point out here. So this is what I call the prompt area. This is the graph, and here's kind of the workspace. So you need to remember a couple of things. So remember that if two lines are parallel, their slopes are the same. If two lines are perpendicular, their slopes are opposite reciprocals. So that means that if one's positive, the other's negative, and we flip the fraction. So take it and flip the two numbers. So here is my equation of line QE, which is this gray line. My slope is -1/2. My y-intercept is 15 halves, or 7.5. So I need to determine the equation in slope-intercept form. That's y equals mx plus b of a line that's perpendicular. Make sure you pay attention to this, whether it's perpendicular or parallel, because that can cause you some trouble. So you know which way to interpret your slope. So this perpendicular line QE, or 2QE, that passes through the point C, and it gives you your point here. So the first is the slope of line QE. I'm going to pull that from here, so that's -1/2. So I'm going to use my keyboard to type that. You can do divide with the slash above the 8, or if you click the drop-down arrow, it does give you some choices. Doesn't look like mine's going to show up for me. Maybe. Nope, doesn't want to. You can do parentheses and fractions and things in there. Okay, so now because this example is perpendicular, we want the opposite reciprocal. So the opposite of negative is positive. The opposite of 1/2 is 2/1. So this is going to become positive 2/1. And then when I enter that, it's going to simplify it to 2. So now we're going to type in our equation in point slope form. This is a new form that you learned in Algebra 1 last year. The x and the y are the variables in the equation, just like they would be up here. The m is your slope of this line, so we determine the slope of this line here. And then the x1 and y1 are from the point right here. So this one would be y minus, my y1 is -13. Equals m, my slope is 2. And then I use shift 9 for parentheses, or I can use my blue arrow to drop down. X minus my x1 is -12. Then when I hit enter, it says, okay, there's your equation. Now it tells me to do the solver, which to click this button, it'll open that up for you. So I'm going to move this out of the way. This gives you some different options here. This walks me through exactly the order I would do it in that they suggest. I would always suggest doing rewrite signs on these problems because that'll help take care of all these extra negatives. They're going to have a subtract first. So I'm subtracting -13 here. So I'm going to do -13 from both sides. And that's going to get the y by itself. So remember, if I want it in slope intercept, that's y equals mx plus b in this form. And that's what they want it to look like for the answer that goes in this box. So now I've got my y by itself. Now we just need to use PEMDAS to simplify this whole mess over here. So I'm going to click rewrite signs. And that's going to take care of that subtracting a negative. Now thinking about algebra, I want to get rid of my parentheses. So if I distribute, that means I'm going to multiply the 2 times the x and the 2 times the 12. So that gives me y equals 2x plus 24 minus 13. And lastly, if I combine my like terms, that will finally simplify this to y equals 2x plus 11. Okay, so that means that the answer to this equation is y equals 2x plus 11. That means it's parallel to this equation. And it goes through this point, -12, -13. So when you look at the solver, one other thing I want to point out, if you click View Solution History, you can look at all your steps that you did to solve this equation. So we subtracted the 13. That's what it looked like. Then we rewrote the signs to combine those. And then we distributed to get rid of the parentheses. And then we combined like terms to get to here. Okay? And so now I didn't hit enter yet. So if you see when I click out, it gives me that little blue arrow. I have to click in for it to actually accept my answer. When I do, the graph will pop up and it'll give me the graph of this line I just wrote. and then it's going to take that and cover it up with this little thing. I'm ready to go to the problem. Okay, so that's an instructional video on how to do this workspace. In the next video, I'll actually go through a problem with you if you need a little more instruction. Hope you all have a good one and hope this helped, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.